to imagine Donald Trump hosting a fundraiser. Now, obviously, this has happened, but the idea of Donald Trump going to any group of people and being like, "Hey guys, I really need some money." How do you say that with a straight face without being a complete and total jackass?
Well, that's what Hillary said, or the Clintons said when they left office. They said they were broke, and everybody laughed at them because it was
Yeah,
bullshit.
and yeah, that was bullshit. And Trump fundraising, also bullshit.
Well, he
But
never calls it fundraising.
oh,
It's
is
a
that the
rally.
trick? Is that
Oh
the
yeah,
trick?
absolutely.
It's we're just holding a rally, and if you should choose to leave some money behind,
That's right.
we do have people that will pick that up
We
and
got we
funnel
got
that
handlers. We got handlers.
into my
Yeah,
pockets,
right. Into the campaign's pocket.
into the campaign's pocket, which essentially just, who's keeping track of any
Right.
of that anyways?
Anyway, so we got distracted, and I noticed the live light went on.
Yeah, the live light did go on.
Yeah. Hey, Dune, how you
And
doing?
a special hello to Dune out there. Howdy. Uh, anyways, we should bring up the opening theme tune. Let me
Do we
just
have a Christmas theme for this?
do
One?
we? Well, we got plenty of Christmas stuff to cover, but we always have to open with the same theme tune that we always
Right. I just wanted to
open
see if
with.
they were going to go seasonal change.
Oh well, something's got to remain constant. Maybe if I had the master recording of this, I'd overdub some Jingle Bells on it, but I don't have Jingle Bells. I'd have to go out and buy some Jingle Bells. But you're listening once again to another fun-filled edition of Time Out with Gators and Brian, and I believe Venison's out there will be calling in soon. So thank you very much, thank you. And we've got a great show planned for you this week. Brian has been trying to listen to Christmas music and has gotten bored. And oh boy, does Gators have the solution for that.
Right on.
Right on.
Something different.
Something different. You want something
Oh,
different?
wait a minute. If we're watching the Gator show, that different thing is what we do all the time.
Yeah, it is what we do all the time. And, when we get into
is
December...
it different anymore?
Oh, it's always different. Although we will be visiting some old standards of different. Because I think there are some oddball Christmas albums that I always like to break out and throw in the background every year when we reach December, to kind of remind everyone what great options they have out there if they, check out their local Goodwill or their local record store. Actually, your best bet for getting cheap Christmas music is to buy Christmas music for next year. You see, it's too late for this year. It's too late because this is the time when everyone's buying Christmas music, so it's priced at its normal price. But if you go to the record store, like in the beginning of January, and they still have Christmas records out, they're marked down.
Oh, yeah, they want to get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm telling you, after Christmas is done, stock up on Christmas music for next year. It's kind of like
I went to we visited Target, and it's like the CD section has disappeared, but they did have a little rack of some Christmas music.
right.
So I'm guessing next year there may not be any.
Well, there's always. Well, notice I didn't say go to a CD store or a music store or a department
Right.
store's music
I got
department, record store. Brian, you've set up a turntable at this point, haven't you?
No, it's still in the box.
CD's out, vinyl's in.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
I mean, you bought a CD today. Was that
Well,
today or was it
couple
earlier in
days
the
ago.
week? A couple days ago.
Couple days ago.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you were listening to Christmas music, and you and the missus both kind of were like, "Well, we're kind of bored with this."
Well, it was the XM radio station, and it was the traditional stuff that was done in the 40s and the 50s.
Oh, that's good
Same
stuff.
yeah, and it's good. I'm not denying that. but you hear it every year exactly the same. So that can get boring. I just kind of want something that's different.
Okay. All right,
And that's what we're going to do.
We got different because some years ago, I actually bought this from a Goodwill for $1, and I had no idea what it was. I don't know if it was a Goodwill. I bought it from someplace for $1. It's got the dollar price tag on it, and it's like it's
Ira
Christmas.
Iron Strings.
Yes.
Even the name is fabulous.
Yeah, the name is fabulous, and it's got a on the cover there a drawing of Santa Claus who has been. It almost kind of looks like a scene out of Gulliver's Travels, where the little people are trying to tie him down, except it's Santa and elves. So that's an odd mashup in itself. Well,
that would be different.
That is different. And this record is from 1959, actually.
Wow.
And it was available in monophonic and stereophonic. This is the cheap monophonic version. But I'm telling you, this music's so great. It don't mono, stereo, whatever. This is just one of my favorite Christmas albums lately, and you'll hear why quite soon. It's got a great selection of instruments. Got some banjo going here. Got a great horn section going. Got some, like marimba, vibraphone type of things going in there too. See, Brian, you need this in your collection, don't you?
Totally.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that one, where there's records. Ira Iron Strings plays Santa Claus. Christmas music for those who have heard everything. You can't help but smile listening to this.
Oh, definitely. I know the foot tapping.
Yeah.
Or jiggling, I should say, because I'm kind of sitting toe first, so it's kind of hard to tap the toe since I've got the weight on it. So the foot is jiggling.
Yeah, you're moving the foot going, is the point.
And the knee's going with it.
Now we need to find out what Venison thinks of this. So we need to, because I think Venison's going to want to buy a copy of this. Or get a copy of this. This has been reissued on CD, actually. Why, hello there!
Yeah. Let's see. Wait. Turn that down. Turn that off.
Hey, Venison!
Okay, I think we got it.
Hey, what do you think of my Christmas music?
Yeah, I was listening. No.
Come on, it's great.
So there's a humbug there. There's a humbug.
I think the problem Venison has with this is that it's extremely white.
I don't know, man. I don't think that's fair.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you think that was unfair of Johnny to say that?
Yes, it was.
Well, I don't know. This is kind of like a. Actually, the style is more of a. What is it? Like New Orleans jazzy or what? Maybe I was a little off with that.
You see, I like Christmas music. Like, okay, to use Brian's term there, from Bah. Here we go. Bah the Humbugs. No smoking in the chimney.
That sounds like
that's a nice one.
Humbugs, no smoking in the chimney?
Yep. And, okay, what's it? Oh, yes. And, the little stinkers. I farted on Santa's lap.
Oh, okay, that's how you don't get presents, though.
Well, there's all kinds of neat stuff out there.
Maybe Santa likes that.
Well, it depends.
Or the creepy Santa, anyway.
It depends. what department store you go to.
Mom made beans for dinner. You know I ate 'em all. Said come get your coat on, going to the mall. You're gonna visit Santa and sit upon his knee. But all that I could think about was how not to cut the cheese. Waiting there for Santa, I thought that I'd explode. The gas bubble grew bigger with every ho ho ho. Tried my best to hide it, that I was doing swell. But when I sat down on Santa's lap, he hollered, "What's that smell?" I farted on Santa's lap. Now Christmas is gonna sing for me. I farted on Santa's lap. Now I'll get under my Christmas tree.
The thing I like about this is they actually gathered together a group of children to sing this.
Yeah. They love it.
Sounded like they had
love
fun.
stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm wondering how many takes it took before they were able to sing it without giggling.
Yeah, really?
That would have been a long session. And that just goes to show that they had to sing this to the point of being so bored with it they could no longer giggle at fart humor. I can't imagine the horrors that you had to go through to get to the point of not laughing at fart humor.
That'll never happen.
Those poor children.
You can never stop laughing at fart humor.
You know, I think Venison is forgetting an important Christmas classic that must always be mentioned every year, though. And that would be those great fellows out of San Francisco that put out their first single as a Christmas song.
Oh, yes.
Sent copies to all their friends, all their enemies. They sent a copy to Frank Zappa. They sent a copy to Richard Nixon, which was returned to sender.
And the WFMU, where I first heard it, and I loved it.
Yes, that would be Santa
not
Dog.
that version.
But this is the original version they mailed out to everyone in 1972 and is the first official commercial release of The Residents.
Oh, well.
So you haven't heard this one, Brian, right?
No, I haven't.
And you have to learn the words so you can sing along while, spreading holiday cheer. And you can play along, too. It's pretty simple.
Fleeting in the sleeting scene, slowly seven sleeves. Fleeting in the greeting.
But I think Venison was particularly looking for the version
Santa Dog 78.
the version from 19. Well, the thing is, Santa Dog was originally a 4-song double single, and the first song is called Fire. And from that point forward, Santa Dog typically refers to the song Fire from the Santa Dog EP. And yes, the 1978 version is the one that Venison is more familiar with. They every time they made a major change in musical style, they would release a new version of Santa Dog.
This one's the coolest.
Well, they also did one in 1990. Here's the 1990 version of Santa Dog. 1990, they released a live version. In 1999, they did Santa Dog for Gamelan Orchestra. I think they're actually selling Santa Dog t-shirts this year if you need a new shirt. like this version. This one's nice.
So, have you seen an image of it?
Image
Is that
of
on a T-shirt?
well, yeah, because when I saw them on tour, they were wearing it, but they weren't selling it then. They just recently started selling
Right.
it. Let me see if I could find it online to
Pull up an image.
pull
and
it up an
pop
image.
it up.
Yeah, I had to. Well, now it's showing me dog shirts. I have to put in residence Santa dog T-shirt.
Yeah, that's probably.
That would help. Now it's showing me Meet the Residents album cover. Oh, here we go. Here's the Santa dog T-shirt. We'll just bring that up over here, and I'll go over here and screen share. There it is. There's the Santa dog T-shirt. That design on a T-shirt. That's a cute shirt, isn't it?
Interesting, yeah.
Go
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, I'd wear that.
Ugh.
They also did a version of Santa Dog in 2006. So you could just listen to Santa Dog over and over again if you wanted to celebrate Christmas. That's an interesting one.
Wow.
You like it, Venison?
I don't know. It sounds creepy.
Well, that is kind of how the residents sound these days.
Yep.
I don't. Brian seems unimpressed with the residents, though.
No, I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
Okay,
right.
okay, all right. We need to
So
put together.
the boredom with Christmas music is gone.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's
You
a
know?
solution. Put on the residents.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just gonna pull out a block of Christmas records here and see what's. Let's see. Well, I'm sure you're quite familiar with the Ray Conniff singers, so we don't need to visit that. Oh, you can always get the 2 LP Perry Como set if you have any trouble falling asleep the night before Christmas. You know that's.
By the way, while we're talking about records,
Uh-huh.
have you ever heard of the expression "stack of wax"?
Yeah.
I had never heard of it, but I was watching an episode of MASH, and Major Winchester got a bunch of new records, and Klinger said, "Hey, he got a stack of wax." Now, flat records were never made of wax, correct? Or is that just being
Well,
picky?
Well, you're being a little picky there because you could refer to it as wax, even though it's really what's the word I'm looking
Well,
for?
originally
Vinyl.
Well, before that, it was Bakelite,
Or shellac.
right?
But you would cut
Yeah.
into wax to actually cut a record. But using the term wax with records is a terminology that isn't infrequent. It's not the most common to refer to it as
Right,
wax,
right.
but hot wax. You know, you got some hot wax there. You know, like there was a record label called Hot Wax Records.
Sure.
And
In fact,
their
I
logo-
Googled it and I found a bunch of references, including, of course, a candle shop that's a stack of wax, which is kind of odd, too, if you think about it. I mean,
yeah.
you don't stack up candles.
No, but you know, people make all kinds of candles.
Right.
I mean, heck, you could buy a candle with any scent you want.
That's
No,
right. Probably even poop flavored.
Probably. Now, I was a child of the 80s. So you know,
You would never guess.
You never guess. Why would you never guess? What decade would
Because
you
you're into
guess?
quad, for example.
Yeah. I hit
You're into vinyl, for example.
vinyl
you know,
was still
vinyl
very
was-
popular through the 80s.
But it's kind of starting to go on its way out.
It was still very popular in the 80s.
Oh, sure. No doubt.
Not everyone could afford a CD player the first few years they were out. I don't think we had a CD player in our house till like 89.
Well, there weren't that many titles. That was a
Not only
slower
that, they
thing
weren't really-
to come out.
Hmm.
In fact,
And
the
they
first
still have
CD
problems
player
there.
I saw was at a Sears store. And, you walk along the floor, and, this was a second story, and it was kind of bouncy. And it skipped. And I go, no, what the fuck is that good for?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it wasn't supposed to be able to skip. That was the whole point of it.
That was kind of the whole point.
But that was before they started buffering the music.
Yeah.
So if it missed a track, it would reread it, and then
and originally anti-skipping was a feature for car CD players.
Of course.
And I mean that was a big deal when you got the 10-second anti-skip, and then like a few years later, 10-second was the bad one that would still skip on you all the time.
Right.
My earliest memory of CDs is a great story about my aunt's personality. Because my grandparents on my mother's side, they bought a CD player pretty early on. And we were over their house, and they're showing off the CD player. They got a few CDs that they're playing. And, I was I'm trying to think if we lived in Hillsborough by then or if we still lived in Piscataway, because that would tell me if I was younger than 5 or older than 5. But I was.
It's not like VHS. VHS took off immediately.
Yeah.
One, there was no competing. Well, VHS and Beta. There was no prior media that they were competing with, and number 2, they came out with porn.
Well, that pretty much sealed the deal for VHS.
The very first day on, the very first day on DVD, the first titles you saw was a few movies and a shitload of porn. And Fry's Electronics would sell that.
Well, here's the thing about home video media. VHS and Beta were, the start of that, and there was the format war, which was fucked up by Sony's business practicings and their licensing deals. And that's the thing. Sony wanted to charge people to use their technology, whereas VHS was like, "Hey,
go for it."
Go for it. And Sony didn't want to be associated with porn. VHS said, hey, go for it. Beta tapes, the first version of it was only like an hour-long tape. VHS could hold more. So getting a full movie on a Beta was an issue in the early days. There are a lot of factors that worked against Beta, even though Beta had the better quality. Sony really, fucked that one up. But before that, I didn't even know of this. And I haven't heard of this since or before. But, they're that guy that I was kind of friends with in the Bay Area that has storage lockers filled with all kinds of tapes. He also had a few boxes of crap. And among them was this weird tape cartridge that was kind of VHS-like, but it wasn't. And the thing about it was that it was designed in a way that you couldn't rewind it unless you had a special machine to rewind it. Like, there was only one wheel in there, and the part that you would rewind was just a little gear thing that you had to have another gear that would snap into there. And it was a rental format, a movie rental format that you would have to have a player that could play it. So I don't even know how long this existed, how widespread this was, or if there's some kind of local thing or anything about. All I know is I've seen the cartridge, and the way it worked was that you rented it for one play because you couldn't rewind it because your home player wouldn't have the rewind feature. And after you were done playing it, you returned it, and the place that was renting it out would be able to rewind it. So, I mean, it's kind of funny how video rental was at the point like, dude, watch however many times you want to in 3 days, but the initial thought was, we only want you to get one viewing of this.
Right.
Then again, if the movie industry had their way, they'd charge you for every time you watch a movie. I mean, they've been trying to get away from owning stuff and instead paying per view. They'd love to do pay per view on everything. But yeah, that was kind of so there was that would have had to have come before VHS. Yeah, but we were talking about
here.
Go ahead.
you're on YouTube, right?
That's correct.
And you're broadcasting there.
That's correct.
Where?
That'd be
I
the,
went.
that'd be,
I went to YouTube, NHP Radio. I don't see you anywhere.
well, no, that's because I use my Johnny Gators account. You know, once there was a time that we were a network and we'd sign up for a share account and we'd all use it. And if it weren't for the fact that Damon was dead set against anything that had to do with using your eyes, we might have actually had access to an NHB YouTube account that we'd all share and stream to. But Damon was dead set against any kind of video streaming and Stickcam and YouTube, so we never streamed to the NHB YouTube channel. But I'm going to tweet the link. Show has started at hbradio.com, and there's the YouTube link.
Now,
so
is
my
that
tweet,
link just for viewing?
yeah, that's the viewing link.
Yeah, okay. Because there's also one to participate.
Right.
So get your little webcam camera out.
Yeah.
I could even talk, and then use that.
Okay.
But
So
you
anyways,
see your face there, Venison.
so at the start of the no, I'm setting the view. I sent the viewing link. I don't know if Edison's got the bandwidth to stream video. So
Right.
Yes, I do,
oh,
but I don't have a cam.
oh, okay, never mind then. So yeah, my grandparents had bought a CD player. My grandparents also had Beta apparently back in the day, and then a VCR. They had the type of VCR that worked like a cassette deck with a ka-chunk buttons, you know, like you know what I'm talking about, right? With the buttons you push down on the top, and with a top loader, and the buttons are on the top.
Yeah.
Chunk. That was the only VCR I ever saw like that one.
They were great.
yeah.
We had a Hitachi that was like that.
Yeah, that
And
might have been a Hitachi.
It also had a tuner in it for watching TV, and you could tune the channels.
Well, our first VCR in my family, that was in the early 80s, probably 84 or 85. It was an RCA, and yes, that did have the thing where you individually, because it had like 13 buttons across the front there. And, you know, if you lived in the tri-state area, you got in the channels from New York. So CBS is on 2, NBC's on 4, Fox is on 5, ABC's on 7, PIX on 11. And,
Fuck.
yeah. So
Were they pre-tuned to those channels, those numbers?
well, I don't know if it came pre-tuned or if my parents had to actually pre-tune it, but the numbers were in there for 2 through 13. But if you live other places in the country that use the UHF dial for all your main channels, then, you know, those 13 buttons going from 2 to 13 aren't going to do you very much good. Which actually
ours had a range button, so you could do VHS and then flip it to UHF, I think.
Right.
And then you could tune in the UHF channel.
I actually had a TV that worked that way that I found in the garbage, a Sanyo TV that the panel on the side had all the little wheels and the switches. So you switch which band you want, and then you dial in. So you could set each individual button to what channel.
Now it's funny when you watch a original Star Trek series, and he's on the communicator, the flip phone,
right,
and he's dialing in the frequency so that he could communicate, and you'd get some of that off-channel, noise until he tuned it in.
Yeah, that is interesting.
They thought that that's the way it would work.
Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it?
Of course.
It still technically works that way, right? Just that it all automatically
Of course
happens.
it doesn't. Yes, right.
No, but anyway, so my my grandparents on my mother's side, they usually kept up with technology and buy new gadgets and things, and so they had a CD player in the early '80s. And I'm a curious little kid, so I got to ask questions about every little thing. This, was that, why this, what's there, what's on that disc, what's on that disc, how come you haven't played that disc? And my aunt, she had little patience for children. Once she got married, they decided, let's not have children, let's have dogs instead. And my dad made the observation of there's problems they have with those dogs they would never have had with kids, but
right, of course,
of course. and they die much sooner too. So you get to deal with that.
That's the advantage.
That's, yeah, I don't think they see it that
Well,
way.
children, as they grow up, you can throw them out of the house.
Dogs,
Someplace around 18 years. Dogs,
they die,
you get one that lasts 18 years,
and then they
shall we
die.
say you're lucky.
You don't get to see them go off on their own, have their own family. They die.
Go off to college.
You don't pay for college.
gotta
You
pay
pay
for
for
it.
expensive medical procedures to prolong their life a few months, and then watch them die slowly. You know.
You
Okay,
do
so
the
let's
same
talk
thing with a
about-
kid.
Let's
Well,
talk
let's
about XM radio for a second.
Well, no. Well, we haven't finished my story, and then we'll get to XM radio. So,
Okay.
I really don't jump ahead.
so here's the thing, because my aunt's delivery of this was straight and dry, so it took me years to remember this moment and think back and realize that she was just messing with me. Because I asked, what's this song about? And my aunt says to me, well, it's about this kid that would ask too many questions, and it annoyed his aunt, and so she locked him in the basement until he, starved to death. And I thought that was actually what that song was about. If I ever heard that song on the radio again, I probably would have said, hey, it's a song about the kid that asked too many questions and the aunt locked him in the basement and he starved and died.
See, nowadays you just put the kid in a cage. Right?
Some people lock him in the basement. Some people put him in the cage.
It's much more humane, because you
Brian's
can
more
stick a cracker
cage.
through the bars of the cage.
But you can still hear the questions through the cage. Whereas you lock him in the basement, close the door, you might have some more soundproofing.
This is true. But then you can spray water on the cage, and it'll hit the kid, and that kid will
Make lots of noises.
or start crying.
Or go, yay, sprinkler.
Right.
But yeah, so I thought she was being honest. I thought she was being a nice aunt, telling me what that song was about, and that it was just a really creepy song. But I thought it was kind of odd that the style of the song didn't seem to sound like the type of song that he was singing about aunt locking her nephew down the basement. But there you go. I mean, obviously, why would an adult lie to me like that? And then years later, I was like,
What
light
song
bulb.
was that?
I
What
have
song
no
was
idea.
that?
I have no
You
idea.
don't know? Oh, man.
I don't. And I don't think I retold that story to my aunt once. I don't think she remembered it. She did believe it, of course, because she knew she'd say that. But no, I don't. I think it's gone lost to the ages. I remember it being kind of country, maybe like a light, easy listening country, some kind of like guy and guitar, slow paced song, which I'm not sure why, because that wasn't usually what they. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. I didn't care for it, and then when I found out what the song was about, I didn't care for it more.
Right. At least because you believe the lie.
Well, yeah, I thought that was kind of a dark, morbid topic to sing about.
But let's put it this way: did it work?
No, because I didn't get it.
No, but did it work for her?
Well, I didn't perceive it as.
Did you continue asking questions?
Well, I didn't perceive it as a threat, so yeah, I kept asking questions.
Oh, so it didn't work.
No, it didn't work. I didn't get that it was a threat. I thought it was honestly what the song was about. There was no threat here. She answered my question. So why would I stop asking them if she's answering them?
This is where the cage would actually work, because you would get it popped in the cage. You're there to shut up.
See, it backfired on her. She thought she was putting down a threat that was going to shut me up. In my mind, she answered my question and showed she was willing to continue answering questions.
Right.
Holy shit.
She didn't realize that her nephew was a dummy.
Oh, she knew.
and a bitter in the ass.
Yeah, well, she must have not been that pissed off, because she did end up giving me her entire Bay City Rollers collection. Then again, maybe she didn't like me.
Okay,
No.
XM radio.
XM radio. You were going to talk about XM.
Skipping, okay?
Okay.
So XM radio, I don't know if you're aware of it, but you have these satellites that send out the signal.
Mm-hmm.
And in certain areas, there is actually a ground-based antenna that also broadcasts a signal.
Okay.
Okay. That way it works better when you're in between buildings.
Ah.
But it's not perfect. You still have these gaps. You know, you go under the overpass. Oh, crap. The XM radio stops working because it hits the gap. It can't get a signal for that brief period of time. And they need to work on that problem as far, like skipping on a CD.
Right.
Skipping, they reread it. But in XM radio, they probably would need to have a certain way of actually broadcasting the signal twice with a certain amount of distance between it, so that if you hit that gap, it will play from what was already broadcast. And it would fill in the gap, you see.
Right.
The big question is, how long would it need to be very effective?
Keep dreaming.
The interesting thing is that there's this little tunnel in Monterey that probably takes about 30 seconds to get through, but XM radio plays through it.
Do you think they actually put a little transmitter?
They must have a little transmitter in there.
In the tunnel? Well, there's that type of town that,
but there's overpasses in the Bay Area where you would think they'd have lots of antennas and stuff. There's a spot in Dublin. In fact, you're well past the overpass, and then there's this little gap.
Huh.
Or as you go on Crow Canyon near Castro Valley, you're actually just about to emerge from the north side of the overpass, and then the gap starts. And it's just a short gap of probably about 20 feet where there's no signal. So if you get to the stoplight and you're first in line, you'll get your signal back. If you're second or third in line, you may not have a signal. I mean, it's very weird.
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. Yeah, but that's okay because you're getting bored of the content XM, which is why you should head to your local Goodwill. And if you were a child of the '80s, all the cool kids
for Christmas music.
For Christmas music, because if you lived through the '80s, you lived through this craze, and all the cool kids had the Cabbage Patch Christmas album.
I never did. Oh, I was too old for that.
You were too old.
Didn't have children.
Before you get into that,
okay.
I just found something here I'm stunned at. And I was like, oh, wow, really? Yes, they finally did it. They actually did it. Okay, I think it was last year. I saw the article, and I broadcast on the show about the Japanese and the United States were going to have a duel with giant robots. They wanted to do a mech war thing. And then the date would be
how big are these robots?
Big.
20 feet, 30 feet, something like that?
Cool. I'm approximating about 15 feet.
Okay.
15, maybe 20
so about
feet.
twice or three times the size of a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
cool.
heavy duty steel. And I just found, while looking for Gators Link, and I found it, and it won't play because they changed formats, and now we're using a format that I can't watch.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah. And
tweet the link, and Jonathan will pick it up and play it.
As the one he's on.
That's he wants to see the video that goes with our broadcast.
Yeah.
A
few weeks ago, it was normal. I was able to watch it, but not this time. This time,
because YouTube changed the format for all the videos.
Not all. You can go into Restore Old YouTube and watch it that way.
Oh, I see.
But some videos, are become quote unquote so advanced that doesn't even work. Okay, but I said screw that, and we're looking for other stuff, and I found this thing with the giant robot duel. Oh my god! They actually duel. They actually fight.
Cool.
And it's fucking intense. And if you look on the right side for the the related stuff, the Chinese want to do it, getting into it too, because they got a gladiator robot that they're bringing in.
Cool.
And also they're talking about epic robot suits you won't believe exist. They do exist, including this is all stuff I never heard about. Including the worst nightmare for Russian military, U.S. military advanced robot, and it looks pretty cool. Holy shit! It's a lot of wild stuff in here.
I mean, I always thought BattleBots is pretty cool, but they're fairly small by comparison, and they use wheelchair motors.
And ABC? How about you bringing them back? When you had them on, they were a major hit, and there were some epic battles. Oh my God, there were some epic battles.
Yeah, a couple of the cable channels still do BattleBots.
Yeah, but
it's kind of a remake. They've got different characters. I think they experimented with flying robot drones.
Yes, that was in there too.
But I'm not sure that really went off.
Yeah, that'd
be cool. Your robot about ready to be bounced, and it just takes off like a helicopter. That'd be cool.
So Dune writes in, has Ven been hanging out with Skylark again?
Nope, these are real. They're actually real.
Okay.
And why don't I do it this way? Nah, for this particular one anyway. See, copy, and go home. Yeah, and hit at Johnny.
Okay, so we're sending something our way here.
That's link. Oh, come on. And of course, the machine's screwing up a bit, but okay, paste. Voila.
Oh, okay. Is it coming through now? All right, let's see what we got here.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so the giant robot duel. All right, let's go ahead and
screen share.
Yeah, I'm working on
It's the dawn of a new age.
Oh,
For millennia, mankind has tested their limits with fists, gloves, in the world's oldest sport, fighting. Our world has been forged by the hammer of technological progress.
We choose to go to the moon.
We have always dreamed about what the future would hold. And we have used technology to make those dreams come to life. For decades, we've imagined giant fighting machines built in our image. That technology is finally here. The age of giant fighting robots has arrived. Two teams, a world apart, are about to do battle. It's time for the giant robot duel.
So this whole thing's 26 minutes long. I don't want to, spoil it at all, but you now know the premise, and now know you can go look up the giant robot duel on YouTube after the show.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, it looks cool.
That was like on Twitter that Venison sent?
Yeah. I'll go and retweet that, and so that you can all see it.
Very cool.
But going back to, Because Brian, you've never had the Cabbage Patch Christmas album, so this is all fresh and new Christmas music that you've never heard before. Absolutely. So this.
Can I get the puke bucket ready? Just in case.
Just in case. I don't know. I always break this out every year to throw on during a show, and to show my appreciation to my listeners, let them feel a part of the '80s cool kid group.
In the Cabbage Patch garden at the end of each year, you can tell by the feeling that Christmas is near.
Isn't that nice and Christmassy? And it was only $1 at a Goodwill. And I got a Cabbage Patch Kid when I was a kid for Christmas.
You did?
Well, my mom found the sew and make your own. Like, she bought the kit with the body, bought like a bag of like the white stuffing, and bought a head. You actually buy the heads by themselves and buy these kits to make your own.
I was never aware of that.
Yeah. Actually,
the popularity was bizarre.
Yeah.
I was living in Denver at the time, and what they would do, and of course you put too much big of a price on it, and they get you for it. But the other thing, being in Denver, it was difficult to get Broncos tickets.
Broncos, okay.
The football team.
Yeah.
And of course, if you overcharge for that, then that was against the law. So what they would do is bundle a Cabbage Patch Kid with the Broncos ticket,
so they could charge more,
and they could charge whatever they wanted.
Nice.
Hey, that's what Cabbage Patch Kids go for.
But Brian, you're forgetting the most important thing here.
Yeah.
Gators had the Cabbage Patch doll.
They were popular. Everyone wanted one.
I got it. Yeah.
I was like 4, and
sure.
Yeah.
That's what was the thing.
And my mom.
Now, how about Beanie Babies? Kind of was.
I never knew any guys that had it.
I was over it by the time Beanie Babies were a thing. No, I was too old for that. But no, I mean, my mom taped the Cabbage Patch Kids Christmas special off TV. Well, she taped a lot of them. That was on the same tape that has the Family Circus Christmas special, which is a great Christmas special. I highly recommend. I watch it every year.
Right. It's really wonderful, although I've never watched it.
Oh, it's on YouTube. You got to watch it.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Venison's seen the Family Circus Christmas special, right? Because they can't find the star. They can't find Granddad's star to put on top of the tree. And
it's a family circus. The most famous comics, thing.
The most famous one-panel comic that is in a circle.
But not more. Oh, that's right. One panel. Right. I mean, it's not going to come up to the standards of the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Sunday they had full feature.
Yeah, but
actually, I went to a jazz presentation last night, and they did a little bit of Christmas stuff, and it was a jazz pianist and a sax player, Anton Schwartz. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a Bay Area guy. Really excellent musicians, but there was a thing in my head that said Charlie Brown Christmas as they were playing the Christmas music. In fact, at one point, I had to go like this to stop myself from laughing out loud.
Well, what's funny about Charlie Brown Christmas?
You're in the middle of a concert. They tell you, turn off your cell phones. And it was a tiny venue.
Okay.
Maybe 30 people were in it, to watch.
I don't get what was funny about it, though.
The whole impression of these professional musicians, and the thought comes in mind of Charlie Brown Christmas.
But I'm thinking that professional musicians recorded this album in the first place.
Of course they had great musicians on the album.
This is very serious.
Of course. No, it's top notch.
I didn't understand the laughter. I still don't get what. But okay, that's definitely a situation you don't want to get a case of the giggles.
In fact, after we were talking to the musicians, and I almost told the musician that popped in my mind. but I kind of decided not to.
So they weren't actually playing Charlie Brown Christmas, but
it made
you think of Charlie Brown Christmas, and that struck you as funny. And then you almost
because the piano player, some of his pieces kind of sounded like Schroeder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had a great musician that played behind.
Oh, yeah.
Character.
I love that tune. You know, when they played it at the Christmas party, that tune was awesome.
What, this one? This one's pretty good.
What just after?
Or maybe you're thinking of Linus and Lucy.
No, not that one.
Which one?
Like I said, it goes. No. It's got to be on there somewhere.
No, I don't think.
Now, is this from a album?
This is when
when
Lucy
Christmas album or something.
Oh, I don't think. Oh, I think I know the one where Snoopy starts dancing and then they stop and Snoopy's dancing to nothing and then gets embarrassed and slinks off.
Yeah.
I don't think that. That little tune is not on the album actually. Everything else is.
So you're playing from the soundtrack. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Classic Christmas album.
They played for the full song. They played other stuff with it too. But that was a great piece.
Anyways,
it was really cool.
Another great. I see this one show up in cheapo bins all the time. If you like the stylings of Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, but you can't afford the official Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass Christmas album, you can always just get the knockoff Tijuana Christmas. And this one cost me 99 cents. It's got a sombrero. It's got a funny mustache.
Who is that guy?
I have no idea who that guy is. It just says it's the Border Brass. So you better get it now before they put up the wall and ship all these back across the border.
That's right, because the Supreme Court just approved the travel ban.
Yeah, this fucking country's going down the toilet. I tell you, Trump's been the worst disaster this country's ever seen. But
see, you know where the big mistake
for $1, you could get this.
Donnie, what the big mistake is?
Yeah,
we didn't become billionaires. That's where we fucked up.
Oh, is that where we fucked up?
That's it, man.
We should have become billionaires.
Absolutely, right, Venison? You with us on that?
Well,
yeah.
Venison really fucked up not becoming a billionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's... Why didn't we think of that? You know?
Well, but we blame George W. Bush because he
came close,
grinding the economy into the ground.
Oh, he trashed this economy. I mean, Clinton left us with a surplus, actually had things going in the right direction. First thing W does when he comes in is let's, cut a big check for everyone, blow all the, surplus.
So I was watching,
piss it away, and then drag us into an expensive war, unnecessary war to drive. Oh God.
Well, and here's the thing. I was watching this reality show. Of course, you have to kind of go, is there any reality in it? But it's talking about homesteading. And in the past dozen years or so, or 10 years, decade, 2 million Americans have sold everything they had in the city or the suburbs, bought some property up in the hills, whatever, a couple of acres, and they're homesteading.
Homesteading.
That's where you build a shack, you raise your own animals, and you live self-sufficient off the grid. The program is called Homestead Rescue. It's on the Discovery Channel. And it's interesting because there's a family that comes out, been doing homesteading for 40 years, and they're helping people become homesteaders. that look like they were heading for failure.
Oh, I see. So people...
And when you really look at it, homesteading really is because you can't afford anything else. You run out of your luck, so you head for the hills, you get some property, you build on it, and you're restarting.
But you have to have something to start with. So you can't fail too hard before you do this.
Pay $60,000 to $80,000 and buy some property. On
But where do you get that?
What? If they had some money.
Well, people who are failing probably don't have that.
If
money.
you were desperate, how much money could you scrape up?
I don't know. I'm not desperate. If I were desperate, I probably wouldn't have a lot of stuff.
Right.
If I was desperate, I'd probably scrape up. I'd probably be lucky to scrape up a few hundred if I'm like that desperate that I'm like,
Sure.
Heck, if I'm desperate, I don't have a month's rent. So right there.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So how if you don't got a month's rent, where are you buying property?
Well, yeah, no, I agree with that. In fact, you need a lot more money than just. Let's say the land goes for $60,000. You're going to need a lot more than that because you need to buy stuff to build your structures.
This is not for the poor and failing. This is for people that want to get off the grid.
But they don't have a lot of money. A lot of these people are running on the.
Someone's buying a $60,000 plot of land and then building on it. And you have a very
but
concept.
So how much is a typical house in the suburbs where you live?
And don't forget the farming equipment so you can grow your own food.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Chainsaw,
it's a lot cheaper than buying a house, but it's a lot. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you can't even come up with the $60K for a plot of land.
Sure,
homesteading
you can still get a land. Although a lot of homesteaders don't want to have a mortgage to pay.
Right. So I'm saying this is not for the poor and failing. They can't afford this.
And some people that do it come up with that much, but it's not enough. So they end up living in poverty.
Right. But what I'm getting at is that this choice isn't a choice of desperation. This is a choice of wanting to get off the grid.
And get away from the city and all the noise and all the pressure.
If you got money to homestead, you got money to be paying some rent and living in relative comfort.
Yeah.
I just saying that whole premise that you were painting there, that this is you down and out in your luck, you got nothing, you go homestead. No. That I don't buy that at all.
But the other thing, the premise of the show is these people are getting into it and they don't know what they're getting into.
Well, I could see someone thinking they have enough money to get into it, getting started, and then you're in over your head.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I get the idea of the premise of the show. Yeah. They go in and
just go to a rural area and live cheap.
Anyways, this Tijuana album's pretty good, actually. I gotta say, it's yeah, we got the marimba, we got the brass.
Boring.
This was a. Well, you could play it faster. It plays just as good on 45 as it does on 33.
Whoa. You're right.
Okay, that's the Chipmunk version. Okay, that's the video game version. What speed is that?
16.
That's what I was thinking. Ooh.
It's still a nice album at any speed.
At any speed.
At any speed. So there you go, Brian. My recommendation, set up the turntable, scope out your local Goodwills and record stores, especially record stores after the Christmas season, Goodwills any time of the year, and just find some odd-looking Christmas albums, and you'll never run out of new Christmas music.
Right. That's not odd.
I don't think my record player will do 16 RPM.
Well, no, this
I don't think it'll do 78, but
that's okay.
But I can do 45 or 33, so
That's okay. This record's supposed to be played at 33.
Right. But 16 would be cool. I would totally dig that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, go put it on eBay. Get a 4-speed off eBay.
If you want an odd album, you got to go for things like, I came upon a roadkill deer.
Well, that's Bob Rivers. You just buy, like, you know, the Bob Rivers CD.
Those are the best.
There you go.
My favorite, Chipmunks Roasting on an Open Fire.
There you go. That's a good one, too.
We've all heard Walking Around in Women's Underwear. The Restroom Door said Gentleman.
But then, too, there's also,
Yellow Snow.
One of the greatest songs, I think they did. And Yipper's favorite. Oh, God.
Which one is that?
Have you noticed the trend? It's going on here in California.
Wait, let me get the title out first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. The title of this one, like I said, one of my favorites, and Yipper's favorite, too. Rudolph the Deep Throat Reindeer.
Oh, no. We're not doing that again.
I'm ruined.
Okay. Well, you know what, though?
Awesome.
I think, we were talking about Elvis earlier because Brian and I were discussing the fact that he died on the toilet. But he does, as Skylark knows, he's still alive and well. And we have proof of that here because Elvis has sent his annual Christmas greeting and a little message for you all. And so here we go, a message from the king.
And now, here with a special Christmas message, the immortal Elvis.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. This here is the king. I know I haven't been around much for a while, but I want y'all to know that up here in rock and roll heaven, I'll be thinking of you this Christmas. And I'd like to give y'all a special Christmas message. A message of peace. Like, how about a little piece of that pie going by? Thank you. Thank you very much. Like I was saying, Christmas is a time of hope, a time of joy, a time for loving. And I sure would love a big slice of that pizza you got there. Okay.
Why does he sound like Dune?
Oh, yeah.
Why does he sound like what?
Dune.
I don't know. Maybe there's a relation there.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
I'm thinking, but let's check out the rest of this message.
Yeah.
Family. And family means friends. And friends means getting together. And getting together means eating. Oh, pass me that drumstick, would you please? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And I just want to say to you right now, I may be a big star, maybe too big, but ain't nobody so big you can't reach out a helping hand. Would you hand me a helping of those mashed potatoes over there, would you please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, like I was saying, ain't nobody so big you can't stoop to help a friend in need over the holiday season. Now, speaking of season, you want to pass me that salt sugar when you get the chance? Thank you. Yeah, just unscrew the cover. That's right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So this Christmas, why don't y'all take a tip from old Elvis? No, leave those steak tips right where they are. You know what I mean? No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I want you to remember, we're all part of God's great big family. And God made man unto his own image. And look in the mirror, I'd have to say God must be a big, big son of a gun. You know what I mean? I think you do. But I especially want y'all to remember this one last thing. When you're all at home this Christmas, stringing that popcorn up on the tree, save a big, big bowl for the king. Extra butter, know what I mean? I think you do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
There we go. Message of the king. Remember, leave out extra bowl of popcorn, extra butter when you're stringing out the popcorn in the tree this year. For the king.
When you're stringing popcorn for the tree, shouldn't you use unbuttered popcorn?
But the bowl you leave out for the king, extra butter.
Extra butter.
Extra butter for the king.
And you might want to leave out for Santa too, because sometimes Santa's stoned at Christmas.
What?
Kevin Buddy Wilson, Santa stoned at Christmas. And that buttered popcorn comes in handy.
I don't know. Well, you know what? Santa might be smoking something. I don't know. It could be. Like
After all, how do you get those reindeer high?
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a very, very little secret I'd like to tell. And we think that people should know about. That's right. Yeah, the snow will be falling, and the cats will be falling. Yeah, they'll be knocking themselves out. You know the reason why? Wow. Santa Claus is smoking reefer.
Oh my God, he was right. He's smoking reefer.
He's so high in the sky, it stays loaded all the time. Come on down, good stuff for the kiddies. Yes.
See, lots of great Christmas music to still discover out there.
That guy cannot sing.
And yet that doesn't stop him from trying.
Yeah. No. Of course, it didn't stop Neil Young. He was told early in his career that he couldn't sing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, no big deal.
Bob Dylan couldn't sing. Sonny
I don't
Bono
think anybody
couldn't
needed
sing.
to tell. I didn't think anybody needed to tell Bob Dylan that.
Some of the most famous singers couldn't sing.
Well, fortunately, like Bob Dylan and Neil Young could write.
Yeah.
Neil Young. California,
and Sonny Bono could marry someone hot that could sing. So anyways, there you go. And of course, if you want to have a little fun with this Christmas season, be sure to keep your eyes peeled out for a copy of the classic Beach Boys Christmas album. You can't go wrong with that one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In fact, I think you probably could have found a CD of this. Now, let me tell you, if you were reaching for the Mariah Carey Christmas CD and sitting next to it was the Beach Boys Christmas CD, would you have still kept reaching for Mariah Carey, or would you have gone, oh, wait, there's a better one?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, what about the missus? Would she go for the Beach Boys, or would she say, hey, where's...
Oh, I think she would have gone for it.
Of course. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's a classic. Heck, they play that. They still play the song off of that one on the radio every year.
Well, way up north where the air gets cold, there's a tale about Christmas.
You got the Little Saint Nick. They play that one every year. Yeah, it's a classic. And I only
customizing the sled.
only paid $1 for that one. Great shape too.
No, I prefer more topical songs for Christmas, like for this administration, like Weird Al's Christmas at Ground Zero.
Oh yeah. Well, the more realistic the premise of that song becomes, the less funny it gets.
Yeah.
The night Santa went crazy is always fun though.
Weird Al.
Weird Al. Yeah, also Weird Al. I remember one time I was doing a little shopping and I picked up a few records, and there were some records I picked up that weren't priced, and this was one of them. Woody the Woodchuck Christmas Sing Song. And the guy,
that's a good one.
The guy threw it on a pile and said, "You can take that one."
No charge?
No charge.
Now the question is it worth what you paid for it?
Well,
in other words, priceless.
Let's find out. I would. This is what I was greeted to when I first.
So hang on before you start.
What?
Venison. You vote either priceless or worthless. Okay.
Priceless or worthless.
We'll both vote
for Woody the Woodchuck. No.
Oh dear.
So it's a Chipmunks knockoff.
Exactly.
Yes, right.
Worthless.
So, Venison, what's your worthless? Okay, my vote. Okay, before I vote, I'm going to have to check to see if my ears are bleeding. No. Yeah, I'm going to say worthless.
Worthless.
It's a bad knockoff.
Yeah.
But it was good for a laugh.
It was good for a laugh, and it was
you
free.
You have to give it a laugh star. Right?
And it was free.
It was free. Yes, priceless.
Yes. But yeah, the same time I found that, I found another Christmas album I thought was rather odd. I wasn't sure what to make of it, so I had to buy it, and now I got to find it.
Did it involve chainsaws?
No, it did not.
Or other shop tools?
Is this the one?
Here it is. A Christmas Present in Pass, Paul Revere and the Raiders. Which I found really odd that Paul Revere and the Raiders would put out a Christmas album. And
well, every musician wants to have a Christmas album. I think it's like a rule.
Not
maybe it's
really.
in the union contract or something.
Not every band like Paul Revere and the Raiders put out a Christmas album. No, it's this is. I gotta say, this is something of an anomaly, and it's not really much of a Christmas album. I mean, it's
time once again. You know, and one of the
it is
many
a Christmas
sounds
album, but
of Christmas
it's odd.
Is the Salvation
I like it.
Army Street Band. One of the many sounds of Christmas is the Salvation Army Street Band.
Apparently, I had a little trouble getting started
One
here.
of the many sounds of Christmas is the Salvation Army Street Band.
Yeah, it's not bad. They brought them in off the street and said, "Hey, want to be on a record?"
Oh, listen to that tuba player.
Yeah.
That's a genuine Salvation Army street band. You know, these guys come out here every year, and it's not easy playing in one of these bands in below zero temperatures. Fingers are numb and lips are blue. It's no picnic. These guys could use a little of your appreciation. Next time you pass the band, take a little time and drop a coin in the pot. You'll get a nice, friendly smile from the lady with the bell, and you'll feel a lot better inside. These guys are just like the band on your corner of your town, USA.
Nice little promo.
Let's take some time and hear the band, shall we? Thank you very much, guys. And now let's get on with some more fine music from this album.
As you can see, this is a really weird album.
Let's hear some more different kind of music from this album.
Some more different kind.
Sounds like he's doing promotion for the album that you're listening to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's bizarre.
It is. It is.
Just play it, man. Don't promote it. I already have it. I already spent the $1.
What it is? It's a concept album, I think.
Ooh.
No one's got time to smile. Each one's busy in his own.
So it's a Christmas theme album, but it's a Paul Revere and the Raiders album, and it's kind of weird. And they do like a weird version of Jingle Bells on here, if I recall correctly.
So they found people that couldn't sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we sing along with that, Jonathan?
I think we should sync it up with the Woodchuck record.
Yeah, should we sing along that?
We wouldn't be in time, but I don't think that would matter all that much.
And your point, yeah, and your point.
All right, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle. You're all supposed to join in with me, right?
Right.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
I think more alcohol needs to be applied.
Yeah, we need to try this at the Christmas special when we all get nice and drunk. Brian, you gonna join me for a Christmas special this year and get drunk?
I'll have to figure out what it is.
You got the flask still, so we'll have to fill that with some eggnog.
Oh yeah, that would gunk it up real good.
Oh, it'll wash.
Oh my God!
It's stainless steel, isn't it?
True.
All right, so yeah, that's another lots of great selections for Christmas albums if you do a little shopping. And I haven't even gone to the classical, the classics. You know, of course, you got to find yourself a copy of Percy Faith, because no Christmas music collection is complete without Percy Faith.
Right.
And they just did a recent remastering that's already sold out. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, all this and more coming up on the Christmas special. But I've taken up a new hobby. And Venison's going to laugh and mock me again. But
Probably.
No. Well, back when I was in like 7th, 8th grade, my mom got into doing needlepoint with plastic canvas. And plastic canvas is easy. It's easy. It's like drawing by graph paper, but sewing by plastic canvas. And you can, make all kinds of cool things. And I was at home for Thanksgiving, and I was drinking a beer, and there were no coasters out on the end tables. And I was like, well, I don't want to leave a ring on my parents' end table here. So I asked if we got a coaster. And at some point, I remembered many, many years ago, I made a set of plastic canvas coasters that was kept in the living room at the house in Hillsborough. And I realized, oh dear, whatever happened to that? Because, I wouldn't mind, having that, because I made that set of coasters all by myself with my bare hands. And I was like, they're probably long gone. I'll probably never see those again. But I was posed the question, well, gee, you should break out those plastic canvas coasters I made. Where did those end up? I don't think anyone knew what I was talking about. And I'm like, well, are the... And then I start thinking, like, well, I could make another set of them if the pattern is still around. And so I posed the question, where are the plastic canvas patterns? And my dad's like, oh, that got thrown out years ago. I'm like, what? Because I picked out some of those, and I was seriously bummed about that. And I didn't want my dad to interrupt carving the turkey to go hunting down things he remembers throwing out. But next thing I know, he's coming up from the basement. He's like, well, we still have some sheets of plastic canvas if you're interested in this stuff. But the patterns, no, they're gone. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. But hey, it's cool. So I got
Googled it.
Well, I can't find all the patterns that we used to have. There are some patterns on Google. There are people selling things on eBay and on Amazon. But now it's kind of a question of what do I feel like making, because I feel like making stuff with all these sheets of plastic canvas I got for free. And so I've decided to make one of the easy things you can make with plastic canvas is one of those like covers for a tissue box.
Yeah.
And so I am starting work on a Rubik's Cube tissue box.
Nice.
Yeah, see, these are two sides that are sewed together. I got a third side here that I've started working on.
Yeah, I like it.
And this will be the top.
It really gripes me is you go to the store and you like Kleenex brand because it's soft and it's nice or whatever. But the boxes they come in are just ugly, and it comes in every color. The package will come in with every color except for the color that comes with your stuff. You know what I mean?
So that's why you need to make one of these.
Absolutely.
Now, I did find a pattern online, but I had issue with the specific squares of the pattern, because an official Rubik's Cube has white and yellow on opposite sides, and if and then if you put the white on top and yellow on the bottom, and you look at the orange, you turn to your left is blue, turn to your left again is red, which is the opposite of orange. Turn to your left again is the green, that's on the opposite side of blue.
Because there is a very specific pattern
for the official Rubik's Cube.
Otherwise, that's how it works.
Right. Now, there are plenty of knockoff cubes that don't follow that rule. And that's fine, and they still work, but I want the official color scheme and layout. So I decided, well, the pattern gives me the sizing and the stitches and all that stuff, but as far as what colors go in what square, I actually brought up a cube, mixed it up, and decided here's my pattern. So there we go. I've been following that. As you can see here, this is the top, which obviously a white tissue will be coming out of the middle. So the middle hole represents the white side. And there you go. You can see that matches.
And it works perfectly with white tissue.
Yeah, exactly. And I got the orange over here, and we turn this, and there's the one with the blue center, and I've started working on the red side. Wait, no, I'm holding this wrong. Oh wait, how did I?
Oops.
No, wait, I was holding it backwards. I stitched it so good it looks right. It looks okay backwards. There we go. Green, yellow, orange, white, and then I'll have to fill the red in there and keep going. And so and then I stitch everything together, and then I slide it over my tissue box. Now here's where I can start to have a little fun with this.
What the fuck?
Because Gothard and I had this little thing that Gothard had a Rubik's Cube, and it's a beautiful, great Rubik's Cube. It's not official. It doesn't have the right color faces, but it was a well-made knockoff Rubik's Cube that turns with such ease and glide that I absolutely love the feel of that Rubik's Cube in my hands.
Oh.
And we had an ongoing thing that anytime he found the cube, he'd mix it up and hide it someplace. And anytime I found the cube, I'd solve it and hide it someplace. And this was an ongoing back and forth thing we had when living in the trailer. And at some point, he came over and visited, mixed it up, and stashed it somewhere around here. And so I've been, solving it here, and I've actually lost track of it, but I got to find it before his next visit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a second one of these. I'm going to make a second one of these that is all solved, so that way Seth will see it. I'll show it off. Hey, look it's my Rubik's Cube pattern for the tissue box. Isn't that cool? Yeah, that's cool. And then we finish for the night. We go to bed, and I'm going to swap it for the solved one.
Oh, that'll be mind-blowing.
And we'll see what he notices.
What the hell?
And I'll be like, well, I can't, me. I can't leave a mixed-up Rubik's Cube mixed up. I have to solve it.
Absolutely. I love that.
Is that a great idea or what?
Perfect. I hope he's not listening, right? The one time that he listens would probably be this show.
Probably would.
Oh, shit, man.
Oh, man, but that's the plan. That's the plan right there.
I love it.
Oh, speaking of which, I had to...
Oh my God.
I bought some non-Christmas records recently, and I haven't even gotten around to listening to them. And one of them I bought, I'm not sure if I'm giving this as a gift or not. Depends if it sucks or not. But Mike...
Well, you give it away if it sucks?
Well, I don't... Well, I'm probably giving it... Well, I'm thinking about it. Gothard's boyfriend, Mike, has a fear of clowns, much like Sir Mars. And this is an album by a band called The Clowns, Ringling Brothers, and Barnum and Bailey. And it's a group of clowns that I guess decided to record an album. And the best part about it is that the cover is gatefold. So there you go. That exists in the world. So the question is, do I give it to Seth so he could use it to taunt Mike, or do I give it to Mike?
Now, is that a double album?
No, it's a single. It's just a gatefold cover.
Yeah.
It's just one record and one empty side. But yeah, The Clowns. So I haven't even listened to it yet. I just bought it, and I'm guessing it's going to be really bad. So Let's find out what the clouds are.
Now, can you reach into the other side to see if there's actually anything in there? I mean, it could be a piece of paper that says, "Hey, there's nothing in here."
It's sealed. I'd have to rip it open.
Hey, I like the bass.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, this will make a good gift. Damn, it sucks. Now I have to find a real gift.
Yeah.
Try a different track. Maybe it gets better.
Ooh, finally found it.
Again, the bass is great.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how you give it. You say, well, at least the bass is great.
At least the bass is great. Yeah, I like that. That's at least the bass is great.
Give them something to look forward to.
Yeah. I think this is going to be the better album that I found in my shopping, though. This is Stories. Stories. Yeah, you've heard of Stories, right? They did what was it? Brother Louie. But this is the album that doesn't have Brother Louie. You know the theme to that show. Louie, that's Stories.
I know that as a song, but never heard of it as a show.
The Louis C.K. show. Yeah, they uses the Brother Louie by Stories as a theme song.
I don't remember. I don't think I ever saw that show. Or heard of it.
It's a show that's done by a stand-up comedian that's really not funny. It's very dry. And that kind of surprised me that the comedian's doing a show that's not very funny. But the song's a good song.
Nice wah on the guitar.
I think I might have the album with this song on it.
I vaguely remember that song, but I mean, who plays it ever?
A lot. Oh, a lot.
I have not heard that in eons.
But it's a great song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But this was actually
Venison, I do hate to discourage people from singing.
Tough.
Exactly. I wasn't going to go any further with that. I mean, after all, I could be next, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, this song is off of their second album called Stories About Us. And but this here is their first album that doesn't contain any of their big hit singles. And so I was like, well, I've never seen that album. And they do an awesome song, Brother Louie. And they also did a really great rendition of Mammy Blue. But might as well check out their first album and see how that one is.
Hey, brother, hard-working sister, I'm starting to see this new world is...
All right, well, the second song is the single, so let's skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm coming home. You know that I'll be there. I'm coming now, don't you try to phone or turn the music down.
Alright, so I haven't quite found their sound yet, but I think it was worth picking up a copy of this to add, because I have their other two albums. So now I got the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the same way about Tangerine Dream. Then I found their first album. Ugh.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
But that's wrong with that Conrad guy that I exchanged some emails with. He's dead now.
Oh my God! The first album was Garage Band, literally a garage band.
It was experimental electronic.
That's how a lot of bands start, though.
Well, no,
not for an album.
But they were an experimental electronic type of thing.
The second album sounded normal, studio made and all like that. It sounded pretty cool, but the first album was horrible.
Well, the first album was when Konrad Schnitzler was kind of running the band, but then he went off and did other things, and so it was really that was a huge change there. But Konrad has done a lot of like tapes and albums, things like that, of his own experimental stuff, and he's got his own following. And for a period of time while he was still alive, he pretty much sold anything and everything he'd done on CDR to whoever will pay for it. And so I selected a random selection of his different stuff, that ranging from the I got to find the folder now, ranging from the 70s up to the 2000s, just to get a good overview of his stuff. And I'm glad I bought them when I could, because I don't think you can buy them now, although I only bought a very small selection of what he had available. But I tried to pick a good overview of stuff. But, let's see if this sounds familiar to you as the type of stuff that was on the album that you were not liking. Does this sound kind of like it? What you were?
Is that the tuning track?
Yeah, I was about to say. You know how orchestras, do that tune-up thing?
Yeah, but this track goes on for 19 minutes. Let's skip halfway into it. Clearly, a lot happens between there and now.
Well, they got their instruments all tuned up, so now they can play.
I see now why they improved after he left.
I like this. This is cool.
I knew you would.
The 4-year-old came down and started banging on the keys.
Well, let's check out one of the. Here's one from 1973. This is exactly the type of stuff I love to listen to.
Right.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
It sets a nice mood. It's like you're floating in space. And if it weren't for the fact that your lungs are going to explode and you blow up in a horrific death, you might get to enjoy this while floating around aimlessly.
Well, it reminds us that people actually can fly without any machinery. You just have to get the right attitude and the right posture.
Right.
It's easiest to learn to fly on your back. Like when you're a kid and you were in the upper bunk, you could just float off the top of the bunk from your back, and that's how you practice.
Right.
Depending on how strong the weed was.
Well, the real reason I bought Konrad Schnitzler's discs was because he actually sold this 4-disc set that was called called Schnitzler Concert, and it was 4 CDs that you would play in unison at the same time, which means that you have 8 channels of sound. And I thought, well, wow, now there's something I could do something with, because I could try to make my own surround mix out of it or something.
Yeah.
And I do have that. I've not really had a chance to really play around with it, but I do have. And that's from 2007. But let's see. Oh, here's an album he did in 2006 called Zug, that just has one song on it called Zug. That's
so I think each track you play is mono.
No, it's stereo, but Google Hangouts doesn't do stereo currently.
Well, that's why I was asking. So you have 4 CDs. And each has 2 tracks.
Each is stereo.
Each
and
is
so
stereo,
you'd have
right?
8 tracks.
So then you've got 8 tracks, right? Okay.
Right.
Wow. So you have to wait until they invented octo.
Oh.
Since you're at quad.
Well, no, I could just make my own mix, but I could buy more speakers, but there's just not a whole lot of reason to.
Well, can they decode to 8 tracks?
I could just mix a 5.1. For the directionality I need, 5.1 gets it done.
But you would have to mix a couple of the tracks together.
Or maybe I want to pan some things. Maybe I want to make some parts fly around the room. I'd probably use them to actually make a mix, not just stationary place them.
Sure.
This is actually starting to sound slightly familiar.
Yeah, this is his 2006 album, Zug.
This almost sounds
Venison,
close
are you suggesting that Jonathan has played this for you before?
No. It's starting to sound a little bit like something of Stratosphere. Tangerine Dream Stratosphere.
Not Charlie Brown Christmas. That was a joke, and I got no reaction at all.
None.
I used that line before.
All right, let's.
Oh, I did find a particular song I've been looking for the past hour. I had looked all over my damn hard drives for it because it wasn't in the spot where it's supposed to be, and I finally found it. Another of my favorite songs about a totally dysfunctional family, the 12 Pains of Christmas. Love that.
I take
song.
it was a large family.
Well, yeah, the 12 Pains of Christmas. That's another Bob Rivers song.
Is it Bob Rivers?
Yeah.
Okay, it's mislabeled.
Huh.
Well, maybe you have a different version, Venison.
It could be. Well, let's see. Is it the Finding a Christmas Tree and all?
It's Bob Rivers? Really?
There's been plenty of great versions of the 12 Days of Christmas over the year.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. But this is the one that's Bob Rivers.
Yep.
Yeah, Finding the Christmas Tree. Well, that's fun, actually. Putting it up, though.
Bringing up the lights.
Third thing is...
Hangovers. Bringing up the lights.
We all know how this goes.
One light comes on, the others go out.
Yeah, let's get to like.
We've had that happen once.
Let's get to like.
Christmas card. Oh, jeez, look at this. One light goes out, they all go out. Finding a Christmas tree. The 11th thing at Christmas, that's such a pain to me. Stale TV special.
Batteries not included.
No parking spaces.
Oh my God, go to the bathroom.
Charities.
She's a witch, I hate her.
5 months of bed.
Oh, I don't even know half these people.
Who's got the toilet paper? Turn a flashlight on, blow a fuse.
So yeah, that's Christmas right there.
Yeah, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. It says it all.
Exactly.
I wonder why it's not in here. Holy shit.
But you know what? I gotta say, I have a question, and it's kind of a serious question. What's the deal with instrumental versions of the 12 Days of Christmas that don't understand the concept of how the verses work and just kind of make an instrumental version that incorporates parts of the melody but does not actually count days? You know what I mean? You ever heard one of those instrumental versions of 12 Days of Christmas that doesn't actually.
No.
I never paid attention to them.
I have to find it now, because it's somewhere on my collection of background music tape, Christmas stuff, and I have those as just one long big file. So let me pull up the.
There's the other one, Charlie Murphy, Night Before Christmas in the Hood.
In the Hood, yeah. Run! All right, let's see if we can find the version of 12 Days of Christmas that made me think about this. No, that's Carol the Bells. Oh, Christmas Tree. Oh, Walking, Run, Ran. Oh, Holy Night. Silver Bells. Santa Claus Coming to Town. Joy to the World. Jingle Bells. Deck the Halls. Silent Night. Maybe it wasn't on this tape. Nope. 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 There's a lot of background music, in case you haven't noticed.
I'm coming to that idea.
Department store's favorite album.
Silent Night. I should have found this ahead of time for the show. All right, let me see which file was I listening to today, because I totally was listening to that, and I was like, this does not follow the.
Well, while you're looking for that, man, I'll be doing the 12 Drugs of Christmas.
Oh, I'm on. That's the wrong file. I want to open up. All right, so what is it? Your the 12 what?
The 12 Drugs of Christmas.
Okay, heroin, OxyContin, crack cocaine. Pa-rum-pa-pa-pum. Now, Brian, I know you want me to send you this file right after the show, after hearing what great selections there are from the background music collection. Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Here it is. Here it is. Let's try to sing along here, kind of, and you'll see that there's a flaw with this rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas. All right, so it starts on the first day of Christmas, which is a partridge in a pear tree. Simple enough. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. Okay, that's simple. The second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a Okay, so this is good so far. We got the 2 days. Third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 Oh, it actually does start right. At some point, it just skips a 5. All right. It must be later on. Maybe it's a different version that that does that. This can't be the one I was listening to then.
Hey, he got lost.
No, this isn't the. There's another version of the 12 Days of Christmas on here that just doesn't follow it right.
He's now suffering from Pennywise. Christmas in hell.
Yeah, okay, maybe there's another one. Now I gotta keep searching. Sorry for totally delaying everything here. So, Brian, did you have any good topics you want to talk about? How was your week?
Good. What do I have to talk about? Can't really think of anything.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just find the 12 Days of Christmas version I'm looking for then.
Did you have anything, Madison, that comes to mind?
Not really. I'm just having my broccoli clumps with French dressing.
Oh, right. This is the one. This is the one that does not follow it. As much as I'd like to hear about Venison's broccoli clumps, let's try to sing the 12 Days of Christmas to this wacky rendition that I don't know what the fuck they were smoking when they wrote this one out. On the first day of Christmas, a true love gave to me partridge in a pear tree. Okay, so that works. All right, we're fine. On the second day of Christmas, true love gives to me 5 golden rings. Wow, got right to the golden rings on day 2. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, a partridge in a pear tree, and we're still doing this. And a partridge in a pear tree. What the hell was that? I don't know what that was supposed to be. On a something day of Christmas, like true love gave to me. Partridge in a pear tree. So we're back to day 1 again. Second day of Christmas, true love gave to me 5 golden rings. 4 calling birds, then let's noodle around. La 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 la, we're not singing gifts anymore. And a partridge in a pear tree.
Roasted.
Yeah, it's totally mixed around.
Yeah. But they're not the only ones I've heard do that. Sometimes people do
maybe they just didn't want to do 12 verses, so they kind of...
So they mixed it up into this funky instrumental version that alternates between the first day and the 5th day and noodles around.
But if you're kind of singing along with this, like, it totally misses it.
Right. If you heard it in the background, you might not think about it. But when you start paying attention and singing in your head...
Oh, yeah, it'd drive you crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what the
I'm going to get a gun, start killing people. Maybe that's what happened with Charlie Manson.
Is that what happened? It was this stupid instrumental version of the 12 Days of Christmas that doesn't have 12 days.
Got everybody high. Let's go start killing people.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So pick up all the Christmas music you want, but just be wary of those instrumental versions of the 12 Days of Christmas.
That's right. You might end up killing people.
You know, I got to say, though, there's been a few interesting things that you could do to the 12 Days of Christmas, because the 12 Days of Christmas has an interesting way of the melody and the time signature, because, you know, up to 4 it's ba 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 ba, but once you get to 5 and beyond, the end of it is, you know, da ba 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 la ba 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 la ba 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 ba. You know, that doesn't come into play till you reach 5. Yet the Chipmunks decided we like that part so much, we're not waiting until we get to 5 to do that.
We're just going to keep going to do it.
Well, no, but I always thought this was really weird. But notice how normally, when you sing it, before you get to 5, you sing 4 through 2 the way you sing 12 through 6. You know, 4 calling birds, 3 French. But here they just started right with 4 calling birds, 3 friends. And it's kind of odd to hear them sing that melody line without doing the 5. You see what I'm saying there?
Yeah, well, so let's play it again.
You didn't quite catch what they were doing there?
Right, I didn't. I'll admit.
All right, so that's 2.
I tweeted you this cat that did the last 3 and said, and then I ate them.
Yeah, I retweeted that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was great. But you see how that's kind of an odd thing they did with with the melody there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other odd variation on the melody is on the Andy Williams Christmas album. They treat the 5. They only do the 5 part the first time they reach 5. Then once they go to 6, they just keep blowing past all of them like they're normal. Plus, they changed what all the days of Christmas are because it was not a Partridge in a Pear Tree. It was a song for the Christmas tree. You've heard that version, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But it's weird how they don't do the, ba 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 da ba ba ba. Because I mean here, and we'll just bring up a little bit of it here.
On the first day
let's get to 5.
On the 4th day
No, that's 4. Here's 5.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my good friends brought to me.
So this is normal. Up to now, the melody's been completely normal, except that they've changed what all the gifts are. So now they decide, well, we don't need to do that part of the song. We'll just keep blowing right through them.
Little silver bells, a shining star, 4 colored lights, 3 pounds of...
And we'll just run through all of them like that instead of doing the ba-da-da-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da. So, yeah.
And I've heard other versions where they just kind of rush through the list of items.
Yeah.
It's like they want to get it done quicker. No, the whole idea is to stretch out, right? There's a point where the song is boring because you have to get every
gift in there.
Every beat for every gift.
Or you could just skip to 12 once you get bored. Like those Bob and Doug McKenzie did, which if you get the Dr. Demento Christmas album, here it is. Here we go. Bob and Doug McKenzie doing the 12 Days of Christmas.
In case you don't know what to get.
Let's see.
Gave to me 5 golden toques.
4 pounds of back bacon,
3 French toasts,
2 turtlenecks,
and a beer
in a tree.
Okay, on the 6th, to go.
Christmas, my true love.
6th day of Christmas. There we go.
6 packs of 2 for
5 golden toasts,
4 pounds of back bacon,
3 French toasts,
2 turtlenecks,
and a beer
in a tree.
Okay. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 packs of smoke.
Nice gift. 6 packs of 2 for
5 golden.
So I think at some point they just skip ahead. So we're on day 7.
And a beer
in a tree. This should just be the 2 days of Christmas. It's too hard for us. Go home.
Yeah.
Oh, 8 day of Christmas.
Oh, they go up to 8.
8 comic books,
7 packs of smoke, 6 packs of 2 for 5.
So we're on day 8, right?
Yeah, that beer is empty. Okay, day 12.
Good day, and welcome to day 12.
Yeah. Golden tubes.
So that's a great way to fast forward right there. Just, hey, welcome to day
Right.
12.
Just
5
all.
golden, whatever.
Right.
5 golden
Oh, yeah.
tubes.
You want to hear something that gets really messed up in the lyrics?
Okay.
Try the 12 drinks of Christmas.
The 12 drinks of Christmas. This sounds like my kind of...
There we go. We're getting down to the basics.
12 drinks.
Mhm.
The problem is now: do you drink 12 drinks, or do you drink each drink? Do you repeat each drink on each verse, which means that you end up drinking 12 of the first day's drink, 11 of the second day's drink, 10 of the third day's drink. You get the idea what I'm saying here. Do you have to actually go through and drink it each time they sing it?
Well, I don't know about that, but, you know.
Because that's a lot of drinks. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Is this what you're looking for?
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. Right. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 cutty sarks and a partridge in a pear tree.
All right.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 old crows, 2 cutty sarks and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 old Fitzgeralds, 3 old crows, 2 cutty sarks, and a partridge.
She's singing way too fast for me to keep up, though.
On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 4 old Fitzgeralds, 3 old crows, 2 cutties. And a partridge in a pear tree. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 Cuba Libras, 5 Roy, 4 old Fitzgeralds, 3 old crows, 2 cutties, and a tree, and a bird with a fruit on the limb. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 Johnny Walkers, 6 Cuba Libras, 5 Roy, 4 old Fitzgeralds, 3 old crows, 2 cutties, and a tree, and a tree, and a tree in the meadow. On the 8th day of Christmas, I feel like you. 8 sweet old-fashioned sunshine, walker, 6 Cuba Libras, and a 4 old Fitzgeralds, 3 old crows, 2 cutties, and a Surrey with a fridge on top. On the 9th day of Christmas, I tell you me, and I might, to see the glory, and I might, margaritas, a sweet old-fashioned sunshine walker, sister blue, and we're over Chelsea, Nine roto rooters. Easily old-fashioned sunshine walker. I have boobies, and the lemonade my two-legged bird. Eden. Bloody Mary. I tell you, Charles, by my sweet. All that green stuff. Then my hand, my rigor mortis. She don't fasten some sister. Oh, fish, real crow, 2 city box, and a high rate, and a bad rate.
Now that was great. now I have to buy that.
Yeah.
So where did you pull that off of? What was that?
I got that off of YouTube. But now I got to find like what album that's off of.
Right.
Oh, that's actually the 12 Days, DAZE of Christmas.
That'll help it make it easier to find.
Yeah, and that was released as a single from what I'm seeing here. I'm wondering if there was an actual album of it.
Well, you could always just rip the audio off of the YouTube.
I could, but I'd rather have a record.
Oh, for sure. No, I get that, but
Yeah.
you could have it that way until you find the record.
Oh, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I know another one you probably won't like.
Won't like?
$500 on YouTube, on eBay, right?
You know, you ever heard of a group called Nerf Herder?
Nerf Herder?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, that sort of rings a bell.
Yeah,
that
Nerf
goes way
Herder.
back, right?
Oh, didn't they do the Buffy the Vampire Slayer theme?
I don't know. But they have another great hit. I got a boner for Christmas.
You got a boner for Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's...
Mend up your stocking hole, 'cause this lump ain't made of coal. I've got a boner for Christmas. Cranberry sauce, green beans, and muffins. You be the turkey and I'm the stuffing. I've got a boner for Christmas. Singing joy to the world, to each and every girl, to all you girls. Go!
Okay, I see the premise of that one.
Yeah. But you won't play Rudolph the Deep-Throat Reindeer.
Yeah. Maybe for the Christmas special. We'll
Right.
do a
You
Christmas
can't give
special
everything
later.
away, right?
Now let's talk about Christmas specials. Should we do like the weekend, the weekend before the weekend before? Because the weekend before Christmas is the weekend that contains Christmas Eve. That's probably going to be a busy weekend. You know, making eggnog and hanging out with family members and tolerating their stories and escaping from the bar.
To be honest with you, I might be busy for the rest of the year after this show. My wife comes back from Houston on Thursday.
Okay.
And basically takes the rest of the year off.
Oh.
So
and
that'll be
she
tight.
needs you to entertain her.
That's right. She thinks I'm stupid for doing this show.
Well, we could educate her.
That's right.
You have a second
We'd have to get her
mic.
drunk first.
You have,
although that may not help.
Brian, you have a second mic. You have a flask. You have whiskey.
I'm all equipped. Yeah.
You are properly equipped to booze up your wife and bring her on this show so I can wear my ugly sweater and play Christmas music.
Right.
You know, in all the years we've known each other and have been friends, I have yet to meet your wife. As far as I know, she's mythical.
It's possible. It's possible.
And you can play her. I found the brains of Santa Claus.
Okay, good for you. But on that note, we have passed the 10 o'clock hour, and of course that means it is we have reached that time again where it is time to put the show to bed, which is where I need to go. But I do want to leave with a little parting story. Because I just would like to say to all you people out there, if you're going to show up someplace an hour early, do not call and then get a little passive-aggressive with your voicemail. Just don't do that, because I'm going to hate you for it. You know, I get to work this morning. It's Monday. It's 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's not a good way to start out a week.
Well, 7 o'clocks on Mondays happen every week, unfortunately. It'd be nice if we could just. It'd be nice if we could skip those 7 o'clocks on Mondays, but generally, the way Monday at 7 o'clock goes is, you know, like every morning. I'm in at 7 o'clock, put the laptop into the docking station, power it up, get my mug, go over, do my weekly cleaning of the mug with some soapy water and a sponge that if I ever saw at a microscopic level would make me think I'd better off never cleaning the mug. And rinse, dry it with a paper towel, and make myself a cup of coffee, sit down at my desk, bring up my calendar, look at what's going on, who's doing what, and kind of plot out my day from there. That's how a Monday at 7 o'clock is supposed to go.
Right.
This Monday at 7 o'clock, as I'm walking to my desk after putting my lunch in the fridge, the phone starts ringing before I even reach sight of the phone. And I'm like, huh.
No, that's not good.
Those robo-dialers are starting really early this week. Right. Well, so I get down, I sit down, I hit the, send the voicemail button. And as I'm, looking over my bag thinking, well, I guess I should get the laptop out because Monday's here. There's no escaping this. The phone rings again. What the fuck is this all about? Voicemail. Get the laptop out of my bag. The phone rings again. Katie? Is that you? Did you find me? I could have sworn Katie Steckley somehow found my number and had a problem with a printer and didn't want to ruin her cashmere sweater pulling the spare out, and so looked me up. No. Voicemail. I'm not talking to you, Katie. Go home. Power on the laptop. The log-on screen starting to come up. The phone rings.
Again.
Voicemail. I'm like, dude, leave me a voicemail if it's this important. At this point, I refuse to answer out of principle. If you call me multiple times without leaving a message and just keep dialing, that is a surefire way to ensure I will never pick up the phone for you.
So you could see who it is on your caller ID?
I saw it was a phone number. It wasn't the Denver area code, which is what threw me off.
Same phone number every time, though, right?
Yeah. Clearly someone...
So you're probably guessing it's the same person every time.
Someone was really urgent to get me on the phone and wouldn't leave a voicemail. And you know that's a pet peeve of mine. I will not pick up the phone for you if you pull that shit. So,
right.
Now, mind you, though, there's another guy that's also in there early. So after about the second or third time this happened, I turned the sound off on the phone so that I'm not, within sight of potential future manager. Bam, I refuse to pick up my phone.
That's right.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I can't stand looking at this. This is pissing me off every time I see it. I need to walk away from my phone for a while and let this kind of sort itself out. So I get my coffee mug and I head over to the coffee machine, clean it, get a nice cup of coffee, take a few sips, walk back to there. And sure enough,
the phone in the coffee room goes off.
No.
Oh,
no.
Sorry.
Now, see, that's when I knew it wasn't Katie. It wasn't Katie because every phone surrounding me didn't one by one ring in succession before ringing my phone again. If it were Katie, I'd hear, this person's phone ring, and then this person's phone rings, and then that person's phone ring, and then that phone rings, and then the receptionist pages me.
Right.
That's the Katie Steckley way.
Right.
So, no, I get back with my cup of coffee, and the light is on indicating I have a voicemail. And it's like,
finally.
Oh, all right, this guy figured it out after 10 fucking times. So, I'm pulling up my schedule, and I see that I have a tech scheduled to come look at our conference room equipment at 8 o'clock. Also known as not 7. And sure enough, the voicemail is from this guy that's down in the lobby, and he leaves a message to the effect of, hey, this is so-and-so from such-and-such group here to look at your conference room. Just wondering when you're going to come let me in. I'm in the lobby. Yeah, I'm clear with security. I'm ready to go. I just need you to let me in.
An hour early.
Yeah. And he actually used the phrase, just wondering when you're going to let me in.
8 o'clock.
Now, mind you, I get why he got there at 7 rather than 8. Because if you want to get into someplace at Boston, you could schedule to be there at 7 and get there at 7. You cannot schedule to be there at 8 and get there at 8.
Right.
You can get there early or you can get there late. And so I understand the logic there. It's just, don't get passive-aggressive with me about it. But, so at that point, I I go to the elevator. I go down the lobby. A little handshake. Hey, how's it going? Dumbass. And make our way up. And he fixed up the conference room. And, he's a nice enough guy. Just one small character flaw of, ringing my phone off the hook before leaving a voicemail.
Right.
And not letting me know ahead of time that he's showing up an hour early.
I gotta pee.
If my train was late, I wouldn't have bothered to let them know I was running late. And then he would have really been just waiting there for me.
Exactly.
Exactly. If you're going to show up an hour early, let me know. If you really need to get a hold of me, leave the voicemail and give it 5 minutes before ringing again. God. So I've learned this week.
When I same kind of story.
Okay.
In the early '80s, for a couple years, I worked for Radio Shack.
Really?
And I had worked in this mall store, but the store was actually in one of the satellite buildings that we shared with the local phone company.
Okay.
And on Sunday, the hours were from noon until 5 o'clock. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So usually it'd be me and some coworker, the manager would take the Sunday off. So we would show there about 15 minutes early, and we'd sit in the car until noon. And sometimes you would have customers that would show up early. They could see the hours on the wall, but they'd be pacing back up and down. But we weren't going to get out of our cars until noon.
No, you start ducking down in case I recognize you.
Exactly. No, we didn't care. Because if the guy said something, we'd say, oh, yeah, the alarm system's on a timer. We can't even get in until noon. That way we're off the hook, right?
Oh, there you go. That works.
Sure. I mean, was the guy going to...
I totally call bullshit on that because that's not the way alarm systems work.
Of course, but he wouldn't know that. But we were ready for that line.
That's common sense. I think about it. The alarm system on a timer. What if no one shows up?
No. It would still be set until you unset the alarm. We made it like you couldn't unset it before noon. Of course, we were bullshitting them, but
yeah, and I'm just saying, I would have seen right through that bullshit.
Well, of course,
But I also wouldn't be the jackass asking you to open the store early.
The average person doesn't know that.
Okay, the person
is an idiot.
The jackass that wants you to open the store an hour early for them is.
This is only 10 minutes usually.
Oh, 10 minutes.
I mean, we wouldn't show up an hour early.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the guy was an hour earlier, but tough shit, man. See the time on the wall?
Okay, 10 minutes early. Oh, I got you.
But we would wait in the car until noon, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, we do try to be educational here. And I've learned a whole lot about, Radio Shack's hours of operation and how their alarm systems don't work.
And why they failed. Oh, no, they were actually doing good back then.
They were doing good back then. That's the problem. The problem is they took the timers off of their alarm systems.
That's right.
All went downhill from there.
That's right.
That's what I've learned this week. What about you, Brian? What have you learned this week?
Right. Well, Elvis is still in the building.
You gotta leave out that big leave out a big bowl of popcorn for him. Extra butter.
That's right.
Don't forget.
Butter. Extra butter.
What about you, Venison? What have you learned?
Well, I've learned with your interest in Cabbage Patch dolls, needlepoint, and really soggy background music, I've come to learn that I know a few things more about you. I'm not really sure I want to go in that direction.
I think the problem is Venison can't see how beautiful this is coming out.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks exactly like a oversized Rubik's Cube.
Yes. And I mean, the neat stitching there and a colorful yarn.
And to think that Donald Trump couldn't solve it because his hands are too small.
Yes! Boom!
Wow.
See, now you have a reason for making it.
Yes. But I mean, doesn't this look like the type of thing you'd have? I mean, it's so simple. It's just this plastic grid, and you do stitches in it. I mean, this is great fun to just do sitting in front of the TV. It's a fun
Can
craft.
you still get that plastic canvas?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Now it used to be that my mom and I would go to the rag shop in Manville, and you get all the plastic canvas, needles, yarn, and you could look at the different patterns they had there and pick out some patterns you liked. There were magazines that you could subscribe to that would give you different plastic canvas patterns. Finding the patterns, well, they don't have any in the store. They still have the plastic canvas in the store, but they don't have the patterns in the store. And I don't think they still print any.
I think they're missing a beat.
Yeah. All the old stuff still exists, and you can buy it all online.
Maybe
But
you can get the canvases, not the canvases, the patterns online.
Yeah. Well, some patterns you can get online.
Yeah.
But a lot of the patterns that we used to read, the magazines and the pamphlets that we bought at the stores, people are still trying to resell those online. I haven't seen anyone actually scan them in for free.
Oh, wow.
Right.
But
there's still something about a pattern and needlepoint store in a place called Manville.
Manville, you know Manville.
Yeah, I know. Oh, brother, do I know it.
Yeah. What's wrong with Manville?
And especially the owner of the Chicken Shack, if you remember that place.
Oh, Frank's Chicken Shack.
Yeah, Frank's Chicken Shack.
I don't think they serve chicken, but we all knew what they did serve there.
Yeah, and he moved next door to me.
Jiggling chickens?
Oh my
Frank's
God.
Chicken Shack, also known as the local strip club.
Right.
Yeah. And the owner is like, oh my God. I have, for instance, I hated being woken up in the morning to them arguing. Him and his lover. Yeah, they were gay. And listening to the gay arguments at 9 o'clock in the morning. But I wanted to be pissed, but I couldn't be. Because listening to them had me going in hysterics.
Well, maybe maybe the good part is they waited until 9 to get into the argument.
Well, hey, speaking of not yelling at people, yelling at people, I gotta say, so proud of my wife. She had to yell at people out the window last night.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I've been talking about how the people downstairs, they bought a truck. This truck ain't for riding. This truck's for revving. Yeah. Well, apparently they lost track of the time last night, and they didn't realize that it was 11:45 at night. I don't know how you don't realize it's 11:45 at night and think to yourself, hey, you know what this would be a good time for? Going out, starting up the truck, and revving it up. Kristen's just about to drift off to sleep. And it's not just a few revs and then drive off somewhere. No, they're sitting out there revving. She nearly drifts off to sleep again. They rev up again. So at that point, she opens up the window. She opened up the screen. She yelled out to them.
What you need to do is get a couple of potatoes, sneak down to the truck, and jam them up the tailpipe.
The thing is that they're very polite people.
Yes.
But apparently...
Well, that's why you have to sneak up with the potatoes.
But apparently not good at... Maybe I should get them a watch for Christmas.
Right,
you think that'd be a nice passive-aggressive way to deal with this? Hey, Merry Christmas.
Right.
Here's
Find
a
a really cheap watch.
Yes, of course.
No, if anything, you need Merry Christmas, I don't want to fight tonight.
Anyways, on that note, thank you everyone for listening, and good night.
All right, good night.
What a night. Cabbage Patch dolls.
Everyone had them.
Sure.
Not me.
Besides, my favorite gift that year wasn't the doll. I had the Cabbage Patch Kid little figurine match game.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, the little Cabbage Patch and the little plastic figurines, and the sticker on the bottom said who they were, and the cards for them.
The more you talk, the more you creep out venison.
It was a game. It was a fun game. I loved that game.
Of course, you were 4,
and an only child. I miss those days.
Good night.